Hey, hello guys. I'm making a long video for the first time about the LGBT community for a reference for the people who asked me to explain it. Please watch the full video about the 10 facts about their community. And come on, you will be supporting LGBT community or not. And subscribe the channel. The first point is about LGBT stand for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender. Second point is about the LGBT term is adoption of LGB, which begins to replace the term gay, lesbian in the reference to the border of LGBT community beginning in the mid to late 1980s. When not inclusive of transgender people, the shorter term of LGB is still used instead of LGBT. And the third point is about it may refers to anyone who is non-heterosexual instead of exclusive to the people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender. To recognize this inclusion, a popular variant of LGBTQ adds the letter Q for those who identify as queer or questioning their sexual or gender identity. The criticism faced by the LGBT community. The enthusiasm LGBT are not agreed to by everyone that they encompass. For example, some argue that transgender and transsexual causes not the same as that lesbian, gay and bisexual people. The argument centers on the idea that being transgender, a transsexual has to do more with the gender identity or person understanding of being or not being a man or woman irrespective of their sexual orientation. The next point is about the LGB issues can be seen as a matter of sexual orientation or attraction. These distinctions have been made in the context of political action in which LGB goals such as same-sex marriage and human rights work may preserve to differ from transgender and transsexual goals. Next point is about their belief. Lesbian and gay separatism holds that a lesbian and gay men form a community distinct and separate from other groups normally included in the LGBTQ sphere. While not always appearing of sufficient number of organizations to be called a movement, separates a significant vocal and active element with the many parts of the LGBT community. In some cases, separatism will deny the extent of right equality of bisexual orientation and transsexual. The next point is about queers, or like transgender people, gender dividend. We don't confirm the traditional heterosex assumption of the male and female behavior, in that we can sexual and emotional relationship with the same sex. We should celebrate our current mainstream right norms. The next point is about a rainbow. Rainbow has connotation that recalls the New Age movement and a group such as Rainbow Family. SLG, same gender loving, is something a favorite among a gay male African American as a way of distinguish themselves from what they regard as a white dominated LGBT communities. The next point about further umbrella terms. In Canada, especially the term 2SLGBTQ is seen with the first two characters standing for the two split, the whole term standing for the two split, a lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queries and questioning, and instead of the term encompassing of all sexual and gender minorities. For some indigenous people, two split involves in a combination of identity including a sexual, gender, culture and spiritual. The next point is about clinical. The public health setting MSM, men who have sex with men, is a clinical use to describe the men who have sex with other men without referring to their sexual orientation with WSW, women who have sex with women, is also used as an analogical term. And the next point is about a plus. This plus is used to signify all the gender, identities and sexual orientation that later a word cannot be fully described. The next point is about non-binary. The non-binary, the adjective describes a person whose gender is not male or female and use many different terms to describe themselves. Other terms including gender queer and gender, bigender, gender fluid or more. None of these terms are mean exactly the same thing, but all speak to an expansive of a gender that is not a simply male or female. The next point is about intersex, an adjective used to describe a person with one or more integrative sex characteristics including a genetical internal reproduction organ and chromosomes that falls outside of traditional conception of a male-female bodies. Do not confuse having an intersex trait with being a transgender. Intersex people are assigned as a sex at birth, either male or female, at the decision of a medical provider, and parents may not match the gender identity of a child. Not all the intersex folks in identity as being a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And the next point is about the gay. The adjective describes the people who are enduring physically, romantic, or emotionally attracted to a people of the same sex. Sometimes lesbian is the perform them of a woman. And the next is lesbian. The lesbian, a woman who's enduring a physical, romantic, or emotionally attracted to another woman. Some lesbian may perform identically as a gay or a gay woman. The next point is about transgender, an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and gender experience a difference from what is typically associated with the sex they are assigned as at birth. People under transgender, many describe themselves using one or more of a wide variety of terms, including transgender or non-binary. Some transgender people are prescribed hormones by their doctors to bring their bodies into alignment with their gender identity. Some undergoes a surgery as well, but not at all transgender people or will take these steps. And transgender identity is not dependent upon a physical appearance or medical procedures. The next point is about ally. The ally describes a person who supports both publicly and privately the LGBTQ community and equality in the many forms. Heterosexual and cisgender people can be allies as well as individuals from within the LGBT community. The next point is about cisgender. Describe a person whose gender identity matches sex, male or female, originally identify on the birth certificate people who are not transgender. Cisgender, which is pronounced cisgender, describes only as a person's gender identity, not a sexual or romantic attraction. Sometimes cisgender appeared as a cis casual conversation. The next point is about coming out. Describe the process of a person first coming to understand their own sexual orientation, then revealing it to others. However, it is not necessary to have a sexual experience or to tell others in order to come out. One may be out to just oneself. Coming out is often correlated with the rate of your homelessness. The next point is about ENBY. Describe a person who does not identify as exclusively male or exclusively female and usually prefers they as a pronoun. ENBY is a phonetic pronunciation of ENB, which stands for a non-binary. Not all a non-binary individual perform of use this term. The next point is about heterosexual. Describe the person who is attracted physically or emotionally to an individual of the opposite sex, otherwise known as a straight person. The next point is about homosexual. Describe a person who is attracted physically and emotionally to the people of the same sex. This term is outdated and disfavored in the LGBTQ community as it was commonly to upskies. And the next point is about pansexual. This point describes a person who is attracted to or has a potential to attracted to the people of any gender or gender identity. This attraction can be emotionally or physically. Please comment you will be support LGBT community or not and subscribe the channel.